live with
100%. 110%.
100% cotton. 100% cotton. Hello, everybody. If you are familiar with Justin and I's streams that we used to do weekly, you would remember that we don't do an intro. We just I just hit go live and we're live. So there's no, it's just there and you can grab it or you can throw it away. But here we are, Justin, we're back in the virtual flesh. We're in the virtual flesh. Yeah.
I like it.
How's it been going, brother?
Everything's going pretty awesome. So actually, it's some family stuff, but we don't need it. We don't need to talk about that. I'll talk to you about it afterwards. But other than that, like, life is awesome. Like, I just switched to a new branch where I work. It's been fantastic. Life is good. I really have no complaints. So no complaints at all.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. You kind of resurrected me to get, back on the YouTube thing because I haven't really been posting a lot of YouTube videos. So what a better way to kick that back off than hanging with my buddy.
Exactly. Here we are. And yes, Mark,
how are you?
Baja Blast. Real quick, Justin. Thank you, Quentin. I saw that you got the 25 Years of Terror documentary. I hope you've been able to watch all the special features. Like I told you, there's a ton of them. It is a super, super cool watch. I really hope they do one for the 50th. I would think they would. We'll have to see. But yeah, I saw you got that, and I really, really hope you're digging it, man. And thank you so much for the super chat. And I know, we're back. We're here. We are. I don't know, man. We're here. It's just like. Let's get back. I was telling Justin, I kind of wanted to get back to having fun again on YouTube. And to Justin's question, a lot of you guys, I haven't really publicly talked about what I'm kind of dealing with currently in my life right now, but it's been a lot to deal with. And so I wanted to get back to doing something fun and chatting with my friend and I don't know, just kind of having fun with you guys because believe me, I've seen the comments and I've gotten the messages about hey, are you and Justin ever going to stream again? And it was guys, it was never that it was never again. I hate Justin. It was hey guys, I kind of just have gotten burnt out on streaming in general. I don't know if you noticed over the last year, I've probably streamed twice on my channel. If that, I just don't, I kind of stepped away from streaming. But
That's totally fine. It's you need a break.
Yes, but it's, and I don't know. I feel rejuvenated, Justin. I feel rejuvenated with you, and we're here, and we're alive. And any day 6 feet above the ground is a good day, I would say. So, want to say hello to everybody that's in here: Nathan, Sean, Mark, Rudy, Quentin, Ali. How is everybody doing? Hello,
hello,
Justin,
everybody. Yes,
we have got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Oh my God.
What a banger right here. Look at this.
Zach with $100 super chat. My God.
Wow. That is so awesome. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you so very much for that, Zach. That is, man, that is quite generous of you. I'm not used to this because we haven't done this in forever, Justin.
I know. This is I think our last one was when we talked about Maxine, which was back in May. Crap. Look at that.
No, that was July, right? Yeah, it was July.
Was it July?
Yeah. It was July.
Okay. Yeah.
But still, that's damn near a year.
That's I mean, where'd 2024 go?
Yeah. Nah, we're old. We're old now.
Zach, something.
Zach, my guy, you are the friggin' man. You always have been, always will be one of the biggest supporters of my channel and of this show. I love you, buddy. Thank you so much. And again, man, I gotta do something for you for that. You send a request my way of a video. Any little thing I can do, man. That shit is just so cool. I don't know. I don't know. It's still, it's been a while since I've seen something like that, but it still gets to me. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you, man. Sean comes in with a super chat of himself. Thank you, my friend, or a super sticker. I don't know. Sean, 8 months. Hey, yeah. I know. It has been.
Awesome.
I need to get back to the grindstone here. I've been kind of slack in the past couple days, but part of that is simply just because, like, I was telling Justin, I was like, I kind of get in my own head. All right, Zach wants these back weekly. Justin, do you want to be back on the old horse? Okay, I get
down for it. We'll
I guess
figure it
we're
out.
back.
Yes,
I guess
I would love to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're back. We're back. We're back in popular demand, live and in stereo. We're in stereo.
This is like Saturday Night Live stuff. Like, it's like they just did their 50th. It's like, and we're back live from Haddonfield High Alumni.
Live from Justin's bedroom.
From Justin's bedroom.
With is that your movie room? Is it?
That's my movie room. That's the movie room.
Well, this is my bedroom. So live from my bedroom and live from Justin's movie room, it's Haddonfield High Alumni. How are we? Okay, we're getting sidetracked. Thank you guys so much for the early love in the chat. Seriously, thank you. Y'all know we appreciate it. Justin, over the last 6+ months since we've done one of these, a lot of movies have come out. So before we get into, the news that we're definitely going to get into, because I know we both have a lot of thoughts about it.
Yes.
I want to first ask you, over the last, let's say, since July, what's been your favorite movie that you've seen?
So my favorite movie of last year was, like, if we're talking a non-horror movie, my favorite movie of last year was Wicked. Like, it was just an incredible experience. Loved it. My favorite horror movie of last year, though, I know I had my list. What was my favorite horror movie? I don't have a favorite horror movie of last year. 2024. I had a top 10 list. I'm gonna go back. What came out last year?
But your favorite movie in general was Wicked?
Wicked, yes, hands down. A horror movie that, like, sticks out to me that I saw like a month ago from last year, though, and I thought was great, was The Substance.
Oh my God. Yes.
Bonkers crazy, but it was great.
Yes. Holy hell. Norris with a $99 super chat. Oh my God. So glad Haddonfield Alumni is back. You guys are awesome. So glad Justin is back. My wife and I recently watched all the Final Destination movies again, and I'm really excited for Bloodlines.
That could be that could be a topic for when that comes out, is talking about those Final Destination movies, because be truthful, I haven't seen them in forever, so I need to go and rewatch the previous 5 movies before this new one.
Yeah, I'm just
look at you, like this. See, look at this. This is.
I'm just trying to keep it. I'm just trying to keep it together. It reminds me that this means a lot to a lot of people, and we never wanted to make it seem like we didn't care or anything, guys. I'll take it on myself that I kind of was dealing with a lot and very much still dealing with a lot. So, like, seeing the love that we've been getting so far, I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I'll be honest, I was the same way with you were. I was burned out last year. So not with you, not with us, because I love you, Nick, but like I was the same way with YouTube in general. I was just burned out. So
and I just, and there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean, Justin? Like, when somebody is this generous as in a super chat, like, how do you even repay that? How do you thank them? I know the value of $1. I think a lot of us do, especially these days.
Yeah.
Seriously, Norris, thank you so much. And we are going to cover Final Destination leading up to Bloodlines.
Excited, dude.
We're going to do that in dedication to you. Like, it's going to be dedicated to you and your wife. And I want you in on that episode. I want you talking to us about each one of these movies, because there's no way I can repay, the love you guys show. I mean, it really, really, really does mean a lot. And I won't, I won't get into too much detail, but I know a lot of you guys have asked and a lot of you guys have been curious. I haven't seen my son in weeks. Um, Long story short, there's it's a whole custody battle right now. And So I've been really down and I've been really sad and because I miss my boy. And so it's just really cool. It's really cool. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Norris. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, everybody. I mean, honestly, I love you guys. I really do. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else. I can't put into words how much it means to both of us. I know Justin feels the exact same way. It's just we love you guys. We do. But okay, Justin, I gotta. Okay, what's a horror movie? You said The Substance.
The Substance, but Longlegs was really good. But I'm looking up the horror movies of last year because I feel like
I don't feel like either one of those was your favorite.
No, and I'm like, what was my favorite?
My favorite was The First Omen.
Was it The First Omen? Yeah, I think that was like top. Okay, let me look this up. Horror movies. I made a video on this, and I'm like, I can't. Oh, wait, was it that? Hold on.
Oh,
was it? Was it? Maybe.
What was it?
I think it's Smile 2. I think it was Smile 2.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
Or Alien Romulus was good too.
Ooh, oh, yeah.
And Longlegs. And The First Omen. And I mean, there were some great horror movies.
It doesn't get talked about enough, I don't think, that 2024 was actually a pretty good year.
Yeah, I think so. I really think so. I had such a fun time with movies last year. So I think it was Smile 2. You all can go back and watch my video and correct me. But
well,
you
heard what I was listening to when I came into here, right?
No, what were you listening to?
Oh my God, what? Justin, I can't play it because
okay. What was the song? Just oh, were you really? That's so cool. Look at that.
So I just watched it last week for the first time because I got sick and tired of people going, you got to watch it. You've got to give it a chance. You got to give it a chance. And the only reason I hadn't is because I wasn't a huge fan of the first one. Like I thought it was
the first one. This one was much better.
Yeah, I just thought it was okay. And I was like, I'm not rushing out to see the sequel, but everybody was like, it's so much better. It's so much better. And I said, whatever. And I watched it and I even did a video on it because I was like, yes, it is so much better than the first one. Like I felt like in every conceivable way. I didn't like what they did to Naomi Scott's hair. I like her with longer hair, but
at first I didn't recognize it was her when I saw the trailer. I was like, who is that? I was like, that's Naomi Scott from Aladdin and everything. I was like, wow.
That's Naomi Scott from Power Rangers, my friend.
Oh, yes, Power Rangers 2. Yeah, that's underrated movie of 2016, 2017?
2017. Oh, my God, my favorite movie of that year. My favorite movie of that year. I love that movie so much. You will always be Kimberly to me, Naomi. You will always be Kimberly.
So can I tell you my experience with Smile 2?
Thank you, Sean. Yes. Hit me.
So I went to Scarefest last year. And it was me, my buddy Lewis, our friend Eric, and Saturday, shout out to Ken and Ashley. I ran into them, and that was awesome. So shout out to you both. I love you, Ken and Ashley. We hung out all Saturday together as a group. And then Saturday night, right across the street from the convention center, was a movie theater, and they had Smile 2. And I went into that movie thinking, oh, this is going to be a pretty good film, but I was like legit terrified of
my Smile 2.
Yes, like I was sorry that was loud, but yes, I was like freaking terrified. And you can talk to Ken and Ashley about this. They will say yes. Like there was at one point we're sitting in the movie theater and I didn't think I was that loud. Like I thought it was
Did you scream?
I was like talking to the screen, and there was one point where this like couple sitting next to my friend, I think it was Bill or Eric, one of them, and they hear this woman say, "Bless that poor soul." I was terrified of this movie, and I think it also was we were in this screen where the Dolby Atmos, like the speakers were everywhere around the room. So it would pick up on small noises. but yeah, I was like talking to the screen. I was like, no, 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 no. Like all this like noise is coming out of me, and oh gosh.
I need to know if you screamed. I need to
I
know if you
screamed.
screamed.
I did
You
scream.
did?
No, I
You
did.
did?
No, I did. I legit screamed. I jumped out of my seat. You know, it was so funny. My
Give
friend
us a
Eric was
give us
like,
a Justin scream. So like, what do you
"Oh
do?
gosh, what a
What do you do?
like ah like that's like a legit scream that comes out, or I go, oh gosh, like that's something that comes out too, or I'm like, no, 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 no."
Yeah,
There was a couple.
my mom is the woo. That's what she
I,
does, and it's so loud. And I'm like, even if the movie doesn't jump scare you, my mom will. It's like, oh my god, what the hell?
it was I think as I'm getting older and I'm aging myself right now by saying that, I think I get scared easier with horror movies, but I still love them. But there's the certain ones where I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Not
And
today, Satan.
my yeah, not today, Satan. But Eric said, so my buddy Lewis didn't go. He stayed back in the room, but we came back and Lewis was like, "How was the movie?" And we're all talking about it. And Eric was like, "I'm not gonna lie, the best part of that movie was seeing Justin's reaction the whole entire time." And I don't think Ken really liked it too much. Ashley, I think she said she loved it or she liked it, but they had the same reaction. They were like, "You were the best thing about this movie." Like sitting there, like seeing you like cringe and like get on the edge of your seat and everything. Like it was the best. Yeah.
I'm God, it's been so long since I've seen a movie in theaters that like did that for me. But I will say, I felt like this one actually did have some like decent suspense.
Yeah.
And like, by the way, that opening, oh my God,
Oh
they did
gosh.
my boy Kyle Gallner dirty. I mean, that
Oh, they
just
did. Yeah.
I was like, I was hooked at that opening, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell? Like,
And
yeah.
let me tell you, he's like one of my biggest crushes, Kyle Gallagher. And so when I saw that, I was like, no. I was like, they
I
brought
was
him
sitting there.
back,
I was
those
thinking, yeah, is he
bastards.
alive? Is he alive? Could he have lived somehow? No, no, he's dead. No. Hey, what up, T Parker?
What's up, T
Gabriel,
Parker?
Sam, how you doing,
Sam.
Sam? Been a
Yes,
minute.
we're all back.
Yeah,
84 years. That's
Monica.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. So,
Thank you, Monica.
I'm trying to think.
What's a horror movie, by the way, that scares you? I want to know. Just like it could be an old
Like
one. It could
still
be
to this day.
still to this day.
Poltergeist.
Oh,
And
terrifying. Oh
well, and
gosh.
it's the thing about that too is like some people might hear that and be like, "Oh, I don't find that movie that scary," or "There's no way you still find it scary all these years later." No, I really do. Not scary in the sense of like when I watch it, I'm like, "Woo!" But
No,
like
not that.
it
Yeah.
it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like
Mhm.
I've talked about a few scenes in that movie that still like it's just like my body reacting. I can't even help it. Like I get goosebumps at the scene of like the white light at the top of the stairs, and then you got the ghostly
Yes.
apparition coming down.
Oh
It
gosh.
always gives me goosebumps when Carol
Goosebumps.
Ann, the first time after you have that like sign off playing on TV, and then it goes
Yeah.
to like, and it's they're here, like
There
that freaks me out. It's super effective. Like I feel like that's how you need to do like a paranormal story, and I
I
don't think a
agree.
lot of movies do that these days. But yeah, Poltergeist is one that still gets under my skin,
That
100%.
that one's one that gets under my skin. Like I have a hard time watching that in the dark by myself at night. Like it there's something about it, it's just creepy and it's terrifying, and it's not the jump scares. There's not really any jump scares in the movie. It's not over the top or anything. It's just like the subtle stuff that really freaks you out. The
Oh,
scene that
so,
always gets
yeah,
the scene that always gets me is when well, there's two. The one scene where they first hear Carol Ann around the house and like the demonic spirit is chasing her, and her mom's
yeah,
reaction is, "You bastard, she's just a baby." Like that gets me all the time, and it's because of Joe Beth Williams' performance. Like how
mhm.
she has to like just kind of jump into this like motherly role, and oh, it's so sad and terrifying. And then the other scene that gets me is when Tangina's talking about the spirits and talking about the house and how she, is very like almost has a smile on her face. She's talking
Yeah.
about them. And then all of a sudden she like gets really serious, and she says, "Now hold on to something. There
Yep.
is an evil presence with her." And
Mhm.
and then she talks about the beast and everything. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that
Yeah.
right now. Like, that
Yeah.
gets me every time.
Quentin, thank you very much. 4.99 super chat. Have you seen the TV show Paranormal Witness or heard of it?
No.
I have not seen that. I don't know if that's more recent or not. I can tell you though, growing up, like as a preteen and teenager, I did watch all the stuff like Ghost Hunters. I watched God, I'm trying to think of what it was called.
Oh,
It's on
Scariest Places
Netflix
on Earth.
now. Scariest Places on Earth. I watched that. I watched
Terrified me.
what was the one where the guy went around trying to find like Bigfoot and stuff? It was like
Oh.
one guy. I used to watch all of that stuff, and that stuff I think is really really cool. But I haven't even heard of that one. Is it streaming anywhere? But thank you.
Have you ever watched on YouTube? It's a YouTube channel.
Hey, what up,
Mind.
James? How you doing, brother?
What's up, James? It's Mind Seed TV. They're like paranormal investigators. Have
I
you
don't.
heard of this channel?
I may have come across like videos or shorts or whatever of theirs, but I couldn't tell you by name. The name doesn't sound familiar.
I got hooked on it though, and it scared me. Like, it was some great.
Justin, are you like me? Like, let's be honest here. All right, let's level with me here.
Okay.
Okay, are you like me, where like sometimes you'll you'll find yourself in a rabbit hole, whether you're like on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, and you find like a spooky video.
Yeah.
And it kind of freaks you out. And then you kind of like go down a rabbit hole watching similar videos. And
Yes.
then next thing
Yeah.
you know, you're like, I'm kind of freaked out right now. I shouldn't have
Yes.
done this. Like now
Absolutely.
you're kind of looking over your shoulder and you're like, is there something in the kitchen over there? Like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know about that.
I was binge watching things for a few days one time back in 2020, and I was watching like YouTube channels, paranormal stuff, and then there was this Zach Baggins did this movie called Demon House or something like that, and that freaked me out because he was like, if you watch this, you might catch something, and I'm like, holy crap. I was like, let's not.
Justin's
I
like, am I inviting a demon into my house by watching this?
I was like, what? I'm really.
It was just Captain Howdy. It was just Captain Howdy.
Howdy.
You'll be fine.
Howdy. Right? Or Mal Fedor from Witchboard. So
hey Apollo, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Apollo, what's up? I'm doing well. How are you?
A lot of faces
since I talked to you.
A lot of faces I haven't seen in here in a minute. They were waiting for the Haddonfield High alumni. They were like, "Where are the boys at?" Okay, this is what we're here for. I get you. We're here.
We're here.
I'm trying to think.
Here.
I was actually talking to somebody the other day. Shout out Melanie. I know you were watching earlier. I don't know if you still are. I was talking to her about, she just started a YouTube channel recently, and she lives like literally right next to me, which is wild, small world.
Sweet.
And we were talking about, oh, she's still here. Hello. And we were talking about like how, you want to be able to like experience a movie for the first time again. Like,
yes.
And one of those movies that I think of is I've always said The Conjuring in theaters, and my theater experience with the first Conjuring film, and the first time I watched The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Like, I wish I could have those experiences again with those movies, because those were like formative experiences. Like those were like, they were otherworldly for me. I remember being on my couch, like the house I used to live in. When I was 21. I lived with a couple buddies, and I had the master bedroom because I'm the tallest. Well, that's not why, but
you're the king. That's why.
Yeah, and so in that room, I had like a love seat as well, and I would sit on that love seat and I would watch movies after I got home from work, and I was sitting there in the dark, 2 a.m. watching The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I had had a couple drinks, so I was a little loosey goosey.
That might have been my experience too with it.
my God, Justin, it sent me. I mean, it sent me. The scene where they're in the room and you hear the bell coming down the hallway, and you know that it's on the toe of a body. And you're like waiting for something to come around the corner. I'm like, no. I wish I could have those experiences again. I wish I could.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm the same way. I think the last one. What's up, J-Dev? How you doing, bud?
Hey, Mark, Tales from the Shelf. How you doing, brother? Apollo, we're going to get into that shortly. I promise. We're going to touch heavily on Scream 7. We're catching the people up. But what's an experience like
all in a while?
What's a horror movie experience for you where you're like, man, I wish I could have that one again?
Well, I mean, Conjuring's one because I think that freaked me out in theaters. Another James Wan movie that terrified me in theaters, or just kind of gave me the creeps, was Insidious, the first one.
Yeah.
Because it was a film that like I was hearing about, but I didn't really like follow too much on. And I was a big fan of James Wan, so I wanted to see it in theaters. And I went and I got goosebumps throughout that whole movie. Like, it freaked me out. Like, it was a great first time theater experience, like really getting to me. And then the other one that I can think of was in 2020. Literally, it was like around Christmas time. I had the tree on and I was still terrified of the dark and the wicked. Like I got probably an hour into that movie. I had
Did
to
you say the
pause.
tree, like a Christmas tree?
I had a Christmas tree on. Like, it was like just the tree on, the movie. It was dark. It was in here.
Was it Christmas time?
It was Christmas time. Like, it
Okay.
was. Like, it
Okay.
was December. Like,
I'll allow it.
yeah. And I I was watching this Dark and the Wicked, and I had to stop the movie. I had to call my buddy, and I was like, I need a break. Like, it was getting to me so bad. And I was
This
like,
is too much.
It was like, I was like, because you didn't expect a lot of the stuff to happen. And so my heart was racing. I was like freaking out a little bit. So I paused it after an hour. I called him. I said, okay, I have 30 minutes left. I can make it. I'm fine. And like legit, like I started the movie and then it kept going and going and going. And I haven't watched the movie since. I own the movie in my collection. It's a great movie, but it freaked me out.
It's one of those movies you're like, yeah, great, but no thanks. I don't need to revisit that. T.
Let me
Parker Evans
take care
with
of this
a
TV real quick.
Oh, you're good. With a fantastic comment. A fantastic comment. Hereditary. And look, no matter if you love or hate Hereditary, guys, I agree with the scene with Charlie in the car. I was sitting there watching it with Satan, my ex-wife, and I remember as soon as that happened, I'm not even exaggerating, my mouth was agape. I was like, and I looked at her and she looked at me and we were both like, what the? I mean, it was that moment alone was like out of left field because the movie is setting up. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, you need to watch it. But it's setting up something else is going to happen to her, so you're obviously focusing on that. You don't expect what happens to happen, and you're like, "Holy shit!" So it's
that's
crazy. Matty Ice, what's up? Oracle, Josh, how you doing?
That movie. Hello, everybody. That
Carmatic.
Hereditary is not one of my favorite movies, but I'll tell you, me and my buddy Lewis again saw that in theaters, and that scene with Charlie, like the whole theater went dead quiet after it happened.
And then Toni Collette the next morning, when she goes out to the car.
Even the dinner scene though with her and her performance in that scene, like, oh gosh, like.
Now, and
totally snubbed for like Oscar.
I was just about to bring it into that just to say really quickly. I haven't seen Anora, but shout out to Mikey Madison. I great for her. I am really bummed for Demi Moore though. I really am. Yeah, I think that mostly I'm bummed for just like horror because once we have an actress from a horror movie win that award, I really think it's going to
change.
I think it'll change things. Yeah. But we have to break that glass ceiling. And we were so close. And so again, congrats to Mikey Madison. I'm sure totally deserved. I haven't seen the movie, but I'm sure it was totally deserved. But I was sad for Demi Moore. I really was.
I was sad for Demi Moore, but the reason I was really sad was because she's been working in this business for over 40 years. And her Golden Globe speech moved me when she said that a producer one time said, "You're a popcorn actress." And I was like, First of all, she is not a popcorn actress. There's nothing wrong with being a popcorn actress, but Demi
No.
Moore is not that. And I was like, she was getting these wins, she was conquering it, and I was just so sad that we she didn't win. I just really wanted her to win. Like I was rooting for her. Thank you so much, J-Dev.
Yeah, we're getting there, man. We're almost there. It's going to happen soon. It is going to freaking happen. But I gotta say, the fact that I'm still not over the fact that Mia Goth wasn't nominated for Pearl. I mean, I'm still not over that.
No, of course. Like that whole monologue at the end of the movie where she's talking
That
to her
scene
sister.
alone. Yeah, like I mean, you show me 5 better female performances that year. Show me.
Oh, another one. I'll tell you another performance, and I just watched it for the first time the other night. Nosferatu, Lily Rose Depp. Like, I don't know what you thought about the movie. I loved the movie. I thought Nosferatu was awesome, but like Lily Rose Depp was totally snubbed from like award season, and I thought she did such a great job. And like the stuff that she had to do in that movie was like crazy.
I loved Nosferatu. I absolutely loved that movie. And it was weird because I actually saw some kind of like polarizing opinions about that movie. Like I feel like a lot of people say it was like yeah, like Rudy just said, and I get it, like I do, because I went and saw it with my family. It was the day after Christmas. My mom and all my siblings, we all went to see it. I was the only one that walked out and was like, that was awesome. All my siblings and my mom were like, it was kind of slow. Like, and like, I totally get it. I don't know. I've always, I don't mind a slow burn. I guess I'm kind of boring sometimes. Like, I don't mind a quote unquote boring movie every now and then. But like, yeah, I don't know.
I would say
I loved it.
I did too. I went into it because a lot of people were saying it's slow burn, but also I was like, it's Robert Eggers, and like if you've ever watched his previous movies, like that's the pace that a lot of the movies go. And I love a slow burn horror movie. I love the buildup. I think it's great because like I get to experience like the actors' performances. I get to experience, especially if they have really good set pieces, like kind of looking around and noticing everything.
Yep.
And I mean, I thought it was fantastic.
Like, I'm just waiting on I'm waiting on Nosferatu Fast Too Furious. That's what I'm still waiting on, the sequel.
That's wait for that one.
But Ali, it does, and that's ironic. It is really ironic that like that it made it more relevant. Yeah.
100%, Ali.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, there was a side picture of Micah. Is it Mika or Mikey?
Mikey Madison.
Mikey. I mean, I love her. I think she's great, and I'm sure like the performance is awesome. But there was an image of her and Demi Moore, and Demi Moore's deserved this for 40 plus years, and I was like, this is the plot of The Substance. Like, Demi Moore rocks.
Get Demi in another banger horror movie so she can get that award, because I wanted to come from
so good.
Oh, it was so good. But guys, we could talk all day and all night about the last year, movies we liked, movies we did. We could do that.
But we got a lot of movies coming out this year, which I'm psyched about. So
next first, the one that everybody's talking about, that everybody's asking questions about, Scream 7. Justin, I first want to ask you.
Okay.
Where were you at, like, mentally when you heard about the announcement of Scott Foley and Matthew Lillard? And now that we also know that David Arquette, and it hasn't been announced yet, but Skeet Ulrich is going to be back. Where are you at with this? Where are you at?
Not as like remember like years ago when they first said Matthew Lillard was going to come back, and I'm like, he's dead, he died, he can't be back. Like, I'm not like at that place anymore. I still wonder how they're going to bring back Matthew and Scott and David. Like, I wonder what that's going to be, but I mean, this is just rumored that it's going to be Somebody said that the opening is not going to be your typical opening scene of a Scream movie, and somebody brought up the idea of maybe it's going to be Maureen's death, and you get a a flashback of a younger Matthew Lillard and Billy and Roman scene. And I thought, well, that'd be interesting because they've never done something like that for an opening of a Scream movie. Um, so I'm open minded. Like I'm open minded. You got Kevin Williamson directing. Obviously, there's a great script there. And then you have Nev, and I don't think Nev would just say yes to anything. Like I think she read this script. She's obviously, you know, talking to Kevin and talking to everybody, and I don't think they're gonna just randomly put these people in the movie. I think they're there for a reason. So I'm open minded.
Yeah, so for me, um, I've always been a Stuther, a hashtag Stuther, Stu Truther. I will maintain that I believe that they could explain a way that he's alive. I will always maintain that. Having said that, though, the way that they're going to incorporate him in this movie, Stuthers, he's gone. He's gone. I think we've pretty much all accepted that by now. Having said that, I was not at first. I wasn't really confused at all. I was like, okay,
No,
you
I
bring
wasn't
Matthew back.
confused.
It could be
I
like
wasn't confused.
visions. It could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then when it was David Arquette, I was like, okay, what's going
Yeah,
on
that one.
here?
That one was a little. That one threw me off more than Matthew Lillard and Scott Foley, because I
Yeah,
was like,
he just
how?
recently got gutted. Like we saw that, but
We saw that happen. Speaking of Mikey, like she gutted the
yeah,
crap out of him in that
yeah, it's
movie.
an honor. But I'll just say, and obviously we can't have confirmation on this until the movie comes out and we see it for ourselves. But the scuttlebutt around the movie is that it's going to all be AI related. And that's why all these actors are coming back because this new Ghostface is going to be using AI to like
Oh,
recreate these people to mess
really?
with, yeah, to mess with the victims. So, like, there's a guy, I know a lot of people that are on the online space are aware of viewer Anon, and he tweeted something last night that said, I think it was like along the lines of like, Gail's scene like is going to suck or whatever. And people were reading into that. And he kind of shed some light on it that I guess when this Ghostface calls Gail or whatever, it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be FaceTime or whatever it is, but it's going to recreate Dewey. So she thinks
Oh, wow.
so to mess with people. Like
Yeah, of
it's going
course.
to be using
Yes.
and it's very topical right now. AI is super topical, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. And Scream is always a franchise that's going to be topical.
Exactly.
Um, and it makes even more sense to bring these actors back because you create them. You Ghostface is recreating them with AI, but it won't look like shit for us as the viewer because it'll actually be the actual actor,
Yep.
but they'll be
Yep.
selling it as AI. And I think that adds a whole different layer to this Ghostface and whatever their motivation is going to be because it's clearly personal. That would make it seem
Yes.
personal.
Yes.
You're going back to these old characters, and yeah, I
Hey,
don't know.
Stacy.
So and again, we cannot confirm anything until we see it. But that is the word around the online spaces is yes, this is going to be AI, and it makes more sense because they just keep announcing people that are clearly dead in this franchise.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
No,
Food
yeah,
for
I
thought.
mean, I think like you said, I think the idea of AI, while it's very divided right now, like obviously it's a big thing that everybody's talking about, and the Scream franchise has always been very relative to what is going on in the world at that current time. And I think that's actually a really cool idea of, this killer using AI and like showing, these past characters.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, I'd be down for that. Again, I'm like you, I'm a huge Scream fan, so I'm going to go into this, just open minded and ready for it. And I'm really excited for this movie. Like,
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
wait. We're 1 year
I,
away.
it's crazy, isn't it? Like it's to me at least, it's just so crazy that we're I hate that we have to wait a year. Like
No, like you
it's
think it would be out this year, but we gotta wait one more year, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh gosh.
And it kind of sucks. Like it's like, and I've been thinking
Yes.
about that. I've been thinking about that with so many movies, Justin. Like I've been thinking, like, my God, we are still, how far away are we from the Batman 2? 2
Oh
years.
gosh. I know, and that I was thinking about that. It's been 3 years since the Batman came out.
Yep.
I'm like, what?
It's just it blows your mind. But and Apollo, and a lot of people have been asking that question, and a lot of people have had issue with it. And I totally understand. Like a bunch of people are like, well, then like why are
Eh,
they telling us all of this before? I think
I
it's
had my
actually to throw you off.
I had that, and also like it it's a way of like telling people, hey, these people are gonna be in this movie. And obviously, like Matthew Lillard, like when you look at him, like people have wanted Matthew Lillard back in this franchise for years. And so to have this announcement, it's super cool. And all these people, and it gets, as a fan of the franchise, and I'm sure you can understand Nick and everybody else. It's like when I hear this stuff, I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, what are they gonna do with this? So I like the announcements. So I think it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I do too. And guys, let's just call a spade here. Scream is a franchise that has always loved the conversation, has always
Yes. Oh
loved to
yes.
create. Look no further than back in the late 90s with Scream 2, the whole fiasco with that movie. The script got leaked online. So they
Uh,
had to create a bunch of fake scripts to put out there to try to throw people off from what the actual ending of the movie was going to be. Like for 30 years now, Scream has been, it's always a hot
yeah.
topic. It's always, they
Oh,
want people to talk about it.
yeah.
It's so, these announcements, I think, in a way, are to try to kind of like get fans, like they've been doing, making videos, talking to each other online. What does this mean? What the hell does all this mean? That's the point.
And
Yeah.
honestly, you can go back to the first movie with Drew Barrymore. I mean, when that movie came out, like they were like promoting it like she was our lead. She was the big one in the movie. Like look at the posters, like it was all Drew Barrymore. And what, almost 30 years later, we're still talking about that opening scene of Drew being killed.
Yeah.
And back then they threw you off. And back then you didn't have like a lot of like info or information coming out. Like the internet was not as big as it is now. But it's still effective today and we're still talking about it.
Yeah. And I think it's also, guys, I really do think um, that it's going to have a lot of fans. It already has had a lot of fans going like, "Oh my God, is Matthew alive? Is he going to be the one behind all of this?" It's going. I think it. If anything, I think it only helps
If
to
you go back to
just kind of confuse you to the point like to where you go in. You might think you're expecting something. You're going to convince yourself of something going into it, and then you're going to find as you watch this movie, "Oh shit, what? Like that's wild. I didn't see that coming." And so there's a lot of possibilities with this, and like honestly, I'm not mad. I totally
I'm not
get,
mad either. I'm
and I totally get it. I do, guys, but I don't know. I think all of
this
this stuff to me is like, if you're telling me that like bringing the band back together for the seventh Scream movie is like something I shouldn't be happy about, I'm like, what? Like, no, I'm gonna be
I'm
happy about that.
happy. I'm
Yeah.
I'm glowing. Like everybody wants to talk about how like Gale is a boring character, yada yada yada. I've always been a big fan of Gale. So even like her in this movie, I'm like, I love that. I love Nev. I love Kevin Williamson directing this movie. Like, I'm just all about this movie. Like, I am so excited. Like, I can't wait.
JJ, you're absolutely right. I do want Jamie Kennedy. I do
We
want
could
Jamie
have a
Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy cameo. Like there could, I mean, look at Scream 3. Like he had one of the best scenes in Scream 3, which by the way, I love it. Underrated, underappreciated movie. But one of the best scenes is like Jamie Kennedy's like brief moment, like just talking about the idea of a trilogy and everything.
15
Still one of my
minutes.
yes, it's still one of my favorite moments in the franchise. Like I love that. So
No, JG. We just started talking about Scream 7.
yeah, we
We
just
just
started
started a
talking
couple
about
minutes
it.
ago. But that's because everybody was asking. So I was like, all right, we got to get to it. We got to get to it. People are asking questions. Yeah, I
Me too,
agree.
Oracle.
I agree, Oracle. I'm ready for it.
Ready
You
for
know,
it.
I'm open minded here. Look, you know, and yeah, it does, Zach. And I actually saw that Patrick Dempsey did
Mhm.
shed some light on that. He said scheduling didn't work. Like, and I
That
think
happens.
so to anybody like that was saying, oh, you know, it was never actually supposed to be Mark Kincaid. Yes, it was.
It
Yes,
was
it was.
Yes, it was. Like,
And
they
when they
had to
couldn't get
rewrite
Patrick,
that.
yeah, when they couldn't, and believe me, I'm sure
Weird.
that's all it was because
Yeah.
Patrick Dempsey is working with Spyglass right now. He just
Yeah.
did Thanksgiving. He's doing Thanksgiving too. Like it's clearly it's just like it just didn't work out. And so they were like,
It
shit, we can't
happens.
get Patrick. All right.
And
It'll
I
be a
like
different
Joe
Mark.
McHale. I like
Yeah.
Joe McHale. Like, he's a serious actor. And I'm like, I'll take it. Like, yeah, I would love to have had Patrick Dempsey back, and that was supposed to be Patrick Dempsey. But again, scheduling conflicts happen. I love that he embraces like horror movies. Like, that just puts a smile on my face. Like, he didn't turn it down just because he doesn't like horror movies. It was because he just had scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
So
And
now we're gonna get him
also,
in Thanksgiving too, which is exciting.
yep, and again, yeah, I see the comment down there about he also said you know, with the Los Angeles
Yeah.
wildfires that mess with his schedule too. Yeah, and look, guys, a lot of people gotta know in the business too. There's a set schedule. When Scream was in pre-production, they had a schedule. It was like, okay, we're gonna start shooting at or around on this day until this date, and so like it's all set in stone. Stuff's paid for. Sets are built. Like they can't just go, oh shit, we can't get Patrick until like 3 months from now. Okay, let's hold off, everyone. Like
Yeah.
no, that train was already moving, so they just had to go with what they did. And I like Joel McHale too. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't hear a lot of people talk about it, but I actually really enjoyed It's a Wonderful Knife, and I really liked him in that
I
movie.
haven't seen that one yet. I need to
Oh
watch
my,
that.
you need to wait until Christmas time,
Okay.
because it is a Christmas horror movie. It's if you liked it was correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm pretty sure it was written by Michael Kennedy. Yes, Michael Kennedy. So Freaky,
Michael.
Happy Death Day.
Oh,
Uh,
Michael Landon. Michael Landon.
no, Christopher Landon was the director, but Michael Kennedy
Oh,
is one of his writing partners. And
gotcha.
Michael Kennedy co-wrote Freaky. I believe he was involved in Happy Death Day. I don't want to be mistaken there. And he wrote Hard Eyes.
Oh, I
So,
love Hard Eyes. That was
so
awesome.
you know what you're going into It's a Wonderful Knife
Yeah.
for. It's funny. It's a fun rompy slasher. And Justin Long wears fake buck teeth, and it's just I I had a good time with it.
I
I
love
did.
that.
So
It's awesome.
yeah.
I'm excited. I'll watch it during December. Yeah, Hard Eyes was awesome. That's kind of got me more excited about this movie too. It's like that was just a fun slasher movie. So,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what your thoughts were on Hard Eyes.
it was I mean, I saw it 2 weeks after it came out with my friend Doug, and I loved it. Like, from beginning to end, the movie was just so much fun. And, that's what I needed. I just needed a fun slasher, and I got it from it, and I just loved it so much. And I have the hugest crush on our lead man.
Mason Gooding.
Oh gosh, yes, I love Mason. So yeah, so good, so good, so
So
good. Cannot
good.
wait to own
So
it on
good.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, no,
And
it was
yeah, Devin Sawa, Georgiana Brewster, like having them back, and they were iconic, like 90s like teens and horror movies. Like, that was cool. It's
Justin,
like
the
a nice
funny
little
thing
touch.
is, I like didn't even recognize Jordana. Like
Really?
when it was brought to my attention, I was like, no shit. That is Jordana Brewster. Like it didn't even register to me. And I,
Wow.
I guess it was because I hadn't seen her in a horror movie since what? The beginning?
Texas Chainsaw. Yeah,
Yeah.
since the beginning.
For like
Yeah.
20 years almost. Like,
Gosh,
and
she looks
she
so
still
old.
looks great. She still looks
She
great.
does. Yes.
But yeah, but oh my god, I mean, I'm not going to get into spoiler territory because I know there's people that still haven't seen Hard Eyes, but I saw one aspect of that movie coming a mile away.
Did you? Like, we'll have to talk about it afterwards because I want to know who that
I'll
was.
just be vague here and say the person that got their head cut off, I
Did you
knew,
really? I didn't
yes,
know. Like, I
I knew.
I kind of knew. I knew at a certain point in the movie. Like, it was towards the going towards the end of the movie, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, no, like I like, could it be? And then
Justin, I almost put a note in my phone with the timestamp when I was in the theater going like, this person's going to be involved. Cause I wanted to be like, I fucking swear I called it. But like, so I know, yeah, I knew, I was like, yeah, I know you're involved. Like, I could tell. And JJ, I look, I'll be honest with you. I loved Scream 5 when it first came out. And in recent years, I've been like, you know what? I like it, but I'm not in love with that movie. I like Scream 5. I think it's solid. I think it's very solid. I think I was just riding a high of it had been 10 years since Scream had been around. So I was really excited. But Scream 6, I love that movie. I think that movie rules.
Yeah, I think the only movie in the franchise that I don't love is Scream 4. And rest in peace to Wes Craven, because I love Wes, but I had the same feelings when I first saw it. I really enjoy Scream 4, but when I saw Scream 5, I was like, this is what I wanted from Scream 4. Like, this was just, hi, Jamie, love you.
Hey, Jamie, I hope you're doing well.
I hope you're doing well, too. We're back, Jamie. We're back.
Hey, Melanie, believe me, Justin and I get hate. We get hate for not loving Scream 4. We definitely do.
We get hate. And I get hate for loving Scream 3. People are like, you love Scream 3? I'm like, yes. And I love Parker Posey. And if they announced that she was going to make a cameo, I'd be like, yes.
Lawyer like
that. You're obsessed with her, and you're obsessed with her daughter.
No, yeah. Scream 3, look, Scream 3 is very, very fun. It is 100% an R-rated Scooby-Doo. And I love it for that. And I understand. I've had a weird relationship with that movie over the years. I loved it. And then as a teenager and young adult, I was like, I'm not a huge fan of this. And then in my later adult years, I'm like, you know what? This movie is actually fun as shit.
It's just fun. Like, that's what and I love Scott Foley as a killer in the movie. Like, I think that's a great twist. I think that was a great, not necessarily a twist, but I think
best Ghostface aside from Billy and Stu. He's the best. He is the best.
100% agree. That and Debbie, I do love Debbie Salt, but Scott Foley,
Debbie Salt has the crazy eyes. She has the crazy eyes. Like you know,
I do love. I love the ending. I love how when it was meant to be a trilogy, how they wrapped it up with Roman and Scott Foley's character, and how that was Cindy's brother, and that whole thing was great. Like I think Scream 3 ages so much better than when it did when it first came out.
I think it was because it was so tonally different from the first two in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And I think that was a shock to a lot of people. And I think a lot of people loved the first two, and rightfully so. So the third one was like, this is really different and kind of weird. I don't know if I'm a huge, I don't know if I'm a big fan of this. And then I think in recent years, people have really gone back and reevaluated it and been like, you know what? Now that we're 6 movies in, now that I know what I'm getting, like time has passed, I actually have fun with this movie. And that's kind of where I'm at with it, is like, it's really fun.
It's tongue in cheek. And that's what I love about it. I think I just love the group there, that cast.
Hey, Dewdrop. Yeah, it's just Patrick Warburton.
The scene that gets me is when Gail finds out that Dewey's living at her on her property. You live here with her? Like, or I'm sorry that 60 Minutes 2 didn't work out for you.
What's the what does she say when she takes out like a $50 bill to give to Carrie Fisher?
Oh gosh, I gotta show. Oh, I love this. I know the line. She's like, $50. What are you, a school or a reporter for Woodsboro High? She's like, she takes off her ring. It's worth 10 grand. Are you gonna help Sydney or not? Are you gonna help Gail or not?
Yeah. Parker Posey, her dynamic it's just so and Justin, I got a theory here, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. I think that the killer in 7 is going to be tied to the original trilogy somehow.
I think
so. And that might not. Some people might go, well, duh, obviously. No, but I mean in the sense of like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were somehow involved, or it's somebody that we may have seen or heard of before that has been behind the scenes for a while. Like, I think this is going to go back pretty far. This isn't going to be like 5 and 6 where it's like
this is going to be yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to go back to Sydney's past. I do.
This is going to be Sydney's past, and they've already said this. Scream 7 is her movie. Like, this is her movie. So I'm with you. I think it's going to tie back to the first 3 movies, like hands down.
And didn't they say that this is like supposed to start a new trilogy?
They did say that. I'm curious, like, when we see the movie, what they mean, though.
Because 4, 5, and 6 is such a weird trilogy. It doesn't feel like a trilogy. You know what I mean?
Feel like a trilogy because
5 and 6 feel like they're like a duology, and then like 4 is just that movie. Whether you love or hate 4, it really does feel. It feels out of place. Like
it does. The
1
look
through
of it,
3,
the feel of it. Everything.
Well, it's like and it's just 1 through 3. Is a great trilogy in my opinion. 4, again, whether you like it or not, it's just kind of in the middle there because 5 and 6 work really well together, and then I feel like 7 is almost going to start like a new.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you on that. And I mean, if 4 would have been a bigger hit when it came out, release it on Easter. I remember that. I think Kevin Williamson was recently on a podcast and they talked about his idea of what 4, 5, and 6 would have been back then. And if they would have made 5 and 6 back then, it would have 4 would have tied better in the franchise.
Yeah. Look, Crypto, what's up, brother?
4 is the outcasts, Jamie, but I really enjoy 4. Like, this is a franchise. It's my second favorite horror movie franchise after Halloween. Like,
well, look, me and Christian are like, we catch some of the most strays because I actually don't even really enjoy 4 all that much, but I don't need to relitigate that. I know, guys, it's not a popular opinion because I still will say though, if 4 is, in my opinion, for me, the one I least enjoy in the series, you can do a hell of a lot worse than that. So
exactly, they're staying true to
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's like Evil Dead for me too. Like a series where like even in your whatever the lowest point for you is in that series, it's not a very low point, and that's saying something.
Army of Darkness is my least favorite of the Evil Dead movies, but I still really enjoy Army of Darkness. So
yeah. Apollo says 30th anniversary of Maureen's death. Maybe a Hank Loomis involvement.
Oh, you know what? That's interesting.
Also, guys, we've got to remember Leslie Mocker. She has been name dropped. Like this is something that has been percolating. Stu has a sister.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I mean, I cannot wait. Can't wait.
Why do we have to wait a year, Justin?
I know, like, it was kind of depressing when I was like, oh, we have so many horror movies coming out this year, because I thought like Scream 7 was like in that year of horror movies, and I'm like, no, that's 2026. We gotta wait a whole year for it.
We might get the Batman Part 2 by the time I'm 50. We might.
By the time I'm 80.
Did you hear what Robert Pattinson said yesterday about it?
No, I didn't hear anything about
They asked him if it was filming this year, and he said, I really fucking hope so. He said, now he did go on to say, like, yes, that the expectation that is the belief that it's going to film in, I believe, starting in the fall this year. It could be the summer. I can't remember. But like he was making jokes because like he knows the fans feel the same way. He basically said, like, look, I was young when we did the first one. You know, I'm going to be old Batman by the time the second one comes out. Like,
I'm going to be old by the time it comes out. Jeez Louise.
I can say, Apollo, anything for 50th anniversary of Jaws, as far as like a new film or show or anything like that. No, not as long as Spielberg is alive. Spielberg has already made that very clear.
I know what we're getting, though. They just announced it's coming back to the theaters, which I've seen it once already in theaters, but for its 50th, I'm going back and I'm seeing it. Like
Jaws?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's coming back to the theaters. So
Justin, Melanie wants to know what's your favorite Halloween movie.
I was thinking about this. Halloween Resurrection.
This son of a bitch.
Just kidding.
This son of a bitch had to come out and do it.
It's John Carpenter's Halloween. That's my favorite movie of all time.
What's your second favorite Halloween movie?
Halloween 2, 1981.
but not Halloween 2, 2009.
But I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, 2009. I was one of the cool kids back in 2009 before it became cool to really love that movie. Because I think you were the same way though. Like it was like I saw that.
Yeah, I was.
Because we go Nick and I go way back when. We're old people now. I'm just kidding. We're not old, but we go way back when. Like we were talking about that movie when I remember when Halloween 2 came out. Now we're going on like a little bit of a topic of Halloween 2, but I remember when that came out, I walked out of the theater and I loved it. And I went on the early days of YouTube and I was watching reviews and like half of the people were like, "This movie sucks."
Oh
Like,
my God,
how
Justin!
dare
It was
Rob
more.
Zombie?
It was more than half. I remember it.
It was a majority of people.
Yeah, that movie got raked across the coals, man. Like nobody liked it. I remember feeling like so weird because I went with a group of 3 friends, and we all saw the first one together. We all liked it, so I was like, "Hell yeah, going with the same friends. It's a sequel. We're gonna like it." When the movie was over, I remember like getting in the van and we were talking. I was like, "Dude, I really dug that," and everyone was like, "Yeah, I don't know about that." And I'm like, "What?"
I think my friends were divided on it too, but I was like, I loved it. I think me and my friend Kayla loved it. I think we were the only ones that loved it. Maybe I was the only one. I don't know. Like, but I walked out. I was like, I love this movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was great.
I had no shame. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 ranks in my top 5 at least.
Oh,
Like Halloween 2 is like
it's number 2
Halloween.
for me.
Yeah. I mean, but we also love Halloween 5 and a lot of people shit on Halloween 5.
Oh
Pardon my
my
language, but I love
God,
Halloween
do
5.
they? Yeah, do they ever?
Revenge of Michael Myers, dude. But in all seriousness, I do. I really enjoy Halloween Resurrection. So
Oh
I'm
yeah, he
not
does.
joking. I'm
Yeah,
not
no, he
joking.
does. This is for Rudy.
This is
For
for
all of
Rudy.
them.
For all of them. Like,
Yeah.
no, I think for me, the way I describe Halloween Resurrection is like it's like cotton candy. It's sticky with your teeth or whatever.
No,
Like
you said it was candy corn. You know it's
Oh,
bad for
that's
your
what it is.
teeth.
Candy
Yeah.
corn. That's what it was. Yes, candy corn. It's bad for your teeth. But I do love. I mean, I love parts of it, but overall, I do really enjoy Resurrection.
I'll
It's
say
a fun
this. I'll say this about Resurrection, Justin. It does transport me back to a time of a lot of nostalgia because I
Yes.
remember watching that movie on TV in the early 2000s. And so it kind of does take me back to that time of like being a kid and stuff. So like
Oh, yeah, same.
for that reason, I'm like, I guess I can get a little bit of enjoyment out of this stupid little thing. But yeah.
That I had a mad crush on Sean Patrick
Sean Patrick Thomas.
Sean Patrick Thomas. Yeah,
Yeah.
mad crush on him.
Norris, thank you again for the super chat, my friend. $9.99. What's your guys' thoughts on the upcoming movie Clown in a Cornfield? The trailer looks cool. Justin, what
you
do you
go
think?
first. Oh,
no,
okay. Well,
no, you.
I think it looks great. Again, I think this is the year of fun slasher movies, and we're getting some really fun ones. And like this looks fun.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, this was based off a book or a book series, right?
I don't know if it was.
Because I believe Christian told me that Sydney read it. I could be remembering this wrong, guys, but I believe that's what Christian said. And they were making it into a movie. I'll be honest with you, Norris. I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I did see the trailer came out. It came out when it came out the other day. I remember I was at work and I got on, I think Instagram or something, and I saw like, oh, trailer for a Clown in a Cornfield or whatever. And I was like, oh, whatever. But like, and then something happened at work. I can't remember. And I like put my phone down and I didn't get a chance to watch it. And I just hadn't gone and watched it yet. But I remember seeing a lot of the reactions about it. Like people actually seemed like interested in it. And it really flew under my radar. Like I thought it was going to be like this low budget, like not a lot of people talk about it. Yeah, maybe like a Fathom Events kind of thing for in theaters for like a weekend or something like that. Yeah. But it seems like the opinions online have been pretty positive. So when we're done with this, I'll watch that trailer and let you guys know. But if it, I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for slasher movies, so I'll probably be there. I mean, shit, I saw In a Violent Nature, and I wasn't really a huge fan of that one.
I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't seen that yet. I need to
I
watch
think
it.
I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd, if I'm not mistaken. And I some of the kills are just brutally gnarly. Like, I really dug a lot of the kills, but like the little to no dialogue, the no like narrative, the perspective of the killer, I didn't, I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, and I hated. Justin, you got to watch it, and after you watch it, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. I hated the last 10 to 15 minutes of that movie. Absolute garbage.
It was like one of those cop-out endings where they like threw you for
No,
looping
it draws out. It's trying to build suspense. It's drawing something out, making you believe that it's leading to something, and then nothing.
So I'll watch it and I will let you know.
It was bullshit. But Norris, again, thank you so much for your generosity tonight. I appreciate you, my friend. And I will let you know that we'll be doing that. We'll be doing the Final Destination. We'll be doing a show on that probably first week of May, right before Bloodlines comes out.
I'm gonna watch them all, rewatch them all, and yeah, I'm excited to talk about that.
I don't know, JG. I saw people talking about that. I believe there's a trailer out for that too. I need to check that trailer out. I'll be honest with you. Christian avoids trailers on purpose. I just am really bad about watching them recently.
I'm really bad about watching them too.
I unless it's something that I'm like really anticipating, like buddy, let me tell you, I was waiting for that Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. I was waiting
too
for that.
Oh
yeah, I knew it was coming out the next day. I was like, I am ready.
I clicked on it. I clicked on that link when I saw that trailer. I was like, oh, I'm so excited for that one too. Do you guys watch The Fog on April 21st? I do, actually. The original Fog.
Yeah. Yes. I have watched it on April 21st, but it's not. But it hasn't been in recent years. But yes, I plan to watch it this year on April 21st.
That's also another remake I like.
I know it is. Oh my God, you just like the eye candy in it. That's what it is.
I do, but I also like I saw it in theaters, and it was so funny to sit next to one of my guy friends who were like they were clutching the seat, and I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, this movie's not that terrifying. Like, I was like watching the movie going, are y'all terrified? I was like, I'm having a good time with this movie.
I used to be in a band with your girlfriend's friend. What band?
What? Who is this?
Who's the friend? JJ, that's wild. Who? Tell me. Now I'm like
in a band with my girlfriend's friend. It's a sign.
You got to tell me now. Now I got to know.
What?
I got to know. Yes, I saw that Catherine Newton's going to be in Ready or Not too with Samara Weaving.
Excited.
Yes. And by the way, guys, just want to let you know there's a little rumor around there floating around that it's not called Ready or Not 2, that it's called Here I Come.
That's a good title, though. I like
just
that.
letting you know that there's a rumor.
I like that title. I'm here for that. I'm here for it.
I don't know if I was ever in a band with anybody named Dalton. I don't think I don't know, but you're in my area. I used to live by Kings Island like pretty much my whole life, and now I live in Dayton. Yes, Radio Silence is doing Ready or Not 2. I really hope they announce soon enough that it's called Here I Come. It obviously hasn't been announced as that yet, but that's the shooting title, I believe. They're shooting it under the title Here I Come. I believe that's the working title. So
I wish y'all could see my cat right now. She's like curling up next to my feet, sleeping. She came in the room.
She's not used to this, Justin. It's been a while. She's like, what are you doing?
She's like 3 years old now. Like, Dad, what are you doing? So, hi, come on. Want to come up? She's looking at me like, do I really want to sit on your lap? Okay.
My cat's not in here. He's a little turd. He can stay out there. And
she opened the door willingly though. Like, I had the door shut. She was like,
cats, man. I'll tell you what, cats, they're something else. But yeah, so what else is coming this year?
Oh, I know we did last summer.
What you did last summer? Yeah. Oh, wasn't there a rumor that was getting delayed though?
No, they had to delay filming, but they just started filming again.
What do you know why?
I don't like this is not 100% true. I think to start shooting a lot of Jennifer Love Hewitt stuff
Yes. Yeah, I do remember reading about that. That a lot of people were.
because
Yep.
there was an article that came out maybe about a month ago where they were saying that like they had written a part for her, but it wasn't like a huge part. And she was like, if I'm coming back as Julie James, which a lot of people want, oh, there's my cat. Um, I want a good part in this. And I think they had to like put on look at her. There's Winnie. Hi, Win. Look at her. She's just like, what's up?
She's about to do
Um,
the cat curl on you and lay
yeah, there
down.
she is right there. Look at her. But yeah, I think they had to delay filming so they can possibly
Yeah.
write a bigger part for her.
If I'm not mistaken, that's what I had heard too, because, and I believe, and rightfully so, a lot of fans were kind of up in arms because they were worried because I believe that like Freddie Prinze had only filmed a couple days and people were
And
like,
yeah.
yeah, everybody was like, are they really just going to basically be cameos? Because if that's the case, we don't want it.
And I don't want that either. Like, I'm like, if we're gonna bring like this franchise back after, I mean, I don't even count the third movie as a movie anymore. Like, I always know we did last summer. We don't need that.
Quentin,
But
thank you
like,
again for another super chat. Yeah, your
thank
cat,
you.
cat
I
Oliver claws at your door. Yeah,
I know.
yeah, because he wants in.
I've been a fan of I Know We Did Last Summer since '98 when the sequel came out. So I'm excited for this, and I know the movie is not going to be. It's not going to. Julie and Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character Ray. They're not going to be like the main leads, but I don't want cameos. Like I want them in these movies. Like have them in them. Have them fit well with the story. That's what I want. And if I get that with this movie, and if it's a great movie, I'm just so excited for it.
Bring back Jack Black.
Bring back Jack Black 100%. Bring back Brandy. I love Brandy, and I still don't
Justin,
know
let me ask you a
what.
question.
Okay.
Do you own I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer?
No, I actually don't.
I don't either.
I
Don't
don't own
either.
that.
I
I don't.
watched it
I
one
won't.
time and I was like, this movie is god awful.
I had the DVD at one point when it first came out, and I was like, I'll keep it for the collection, and I'm like, get rid of that. So I just have the first two movies.
What's
Three
wh-
doesn't exist.
have you only watched it like one time?
I think I've watched it maybe 3 times. Like, but that was
That's
like
torture. That's torture.
that was like spread out because I think the first time I was like, this is fun. This is when I was like sophomore in high school. And then I watched it. The last time I watched it was like 10 years ago, and I'm like, this movie sucks. Like,
Yeah.
but I
Justin was
love you what?
Justin was like, yeah, I thought about it, and I was like, no, this kind of sucks.
I don't need to own this one. See, I don't love everything. Everybody used to tell me you love everything, Justin. Do I really love
Didn't they tr-
everything?
didn't they try to do like an Amazon series?
Yes, and it failed. And I heard terrible things about it.
Yeah, I never checked it out.
I
Did anybody watch it?
I actually was like looking forward to it, and then I heard the reviews, and I'm like, gonna stay away from that one. But I love the
Yeah.
first two movies, so like this will be great. This will be great next to the other ones, unless the movie sucks. Then I'm like,
Here's the thing. I feel like nowadays when you do the requel route and you bring back beloved characters, there's almost a 0% chance the movie's gonna suck.
That's
Um,
true. That's and I don't think Jennifer Love. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I was like,
no,
I don't think
you're
Jennifer
good.
Love Hewitt would come back if a movie sucked. Like, the
Yeah,
script's got to be good. It's got to be a
yeah,
good script.
and even if it's not, I think just the nostalgia alone is gonna make it worth it for a lot of the fans. So like it'll be worth your time. It's also interesting because I don't know. I don't think that like I don't know. I don't think this is one that a lot of people saw getting revived. You know what I mean? Like I never could have predicted that they were going to do a
Well,
requel to this.
I was shocked. I was shocked because I know for the longest time, um,
There's
I mean, this
always
is
an exception, T. Parker. Okay, but I liked that movie.
I love The Exorcist, The Believer. Okay, Love it. We'll talk about that later on. No, I'm just kidding. I love that movie though. But no, yeah, I was shocked because I mean, for 10, I think 20 years, maybe 15 years, we've talked about getting Julie James and Ray back and doing another I Know We Did Last Summer movie, and it just never worked out. And so when they announced it, I was like, well, we'll see if it's actually going to start filming. And then they started filming it, and I was like, okay, this is happening. We're getting this. So I'm excited.
JG Michael with a $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. Says opinions on Jennifer Love Hewitt slasher themed Boy Meets World episode. Have you seen it,
Oh, did you
Justin?
ever? Oh, I have. I used to love Boy Meets World. It
I
was
haven't seen
fun.
it, so you
It was
you tell
fun.
me your thoughts.
It was like they were. This was like after like the first movie, I think, and they were. I remember it was like they were in the school, and there was a killer going around, taking them off one by one. And Jennifer Love Hewitt was in the episode. So yeah, that's cool that you brought that up, J.G. Michael, because no one really talks about that, but that was fun. That was a good one. That was a good time. I do want to
Uh,
get back J.J. Wild.
yes, yes, Apollo. It is. I believe Eli Roth said it's supposed to start filming this month, actually. So yeah.
Sweet. I want to say J.J. Wild. I'm the same way. Like I block out the movies I don't like because I don't love everything. I just block out the movies I don't like. I'm like, talk about it once, throw it away, put it in the garbage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same, unless it really offends me. Like if a
You
movie
know
is
what?
really bad, I'm like, I gotta talk about
Oh
this.
well. I mean, I'll talk about the movies. I mean, the one of the worst movies last year for me was Salem's Lot. Awful
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
Awful movie.
Justin, tell
Hated
me,
it.
because I remember reading your review on Instagram.
Hated it.
Yeah, what was it about it for you that you were like, no?
Well, they condensed the movie down to under 2 hours, which, if you've read the book and if you've seen the original miniseries or even the '03 miniseries, like there's a lot in that story. And I felt like they condensed it down. Another thing I didn't like was there was a lot of like character shifts in this movie, which um like, and when I'm talking about character shift, I'm really talking about like there's a character in the original movie that wasn't a villain, and then they all of a sudden made this character a villain in this new one, and I'm like, where did that go? Like,
Oh
why did
yeah.
we go that direction? And then the climax, I was like, oh, and then Barlow. Like Barlow was a character I was going to just I was so excited to see Barlow back.
What, you didn't
And
like the overly CGI bullshit?
no, I was like, this sucks. Like, what were
Yep.
we doing? Like, I love the Conjuring franchise overall, but I did not expect a Conjuring movie here, and they looked like Conjuring CGI bullshit in
Well,
this movie.
that's because Gary Dauberman directed it.
Well, I know that, and I was like,
Yeah.
um, there was some good acting in the movie. I really can't remember a lot of it because I was like, I mean, it's not available to buy anywhere, but I don't even own it. Like I've watched it once. I'll never go back and watch that movie. If I want to watch Salem's Lot, I'll watch the original. And then I rewatched the '03 one, and I like the '03 one. Like, go and watch this new one, and then you'll appreciate the '03 one much better. Like yeah. Eh,
Apollo,
eh,
I
eh.
didn't watch Dawson's Creek. So
I didn't
I
see it
didn't.
either. But
And then
I did enjoy
what?
Wolfman. I liked Wolfman.
I didn't see Wolfman, but I was actually really sad. That was when my car blew up. So for like a month there, I didn't have a car when it came out, so I couldn't go see it. I was like, oh shit, I want to, I couldn't make it to the theater. And then I saw all the reviews and I was like, oh, this is disappointing. Like, because I like Lee Whannell a lot.
Yeah.
So I was bummed to see that kind of flopped, honestly.
I was bummed too because I love Leah Whannell and I had a lot of excitement for the movie and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a
I
good time.
mean, and as far as Salem's Lot goes, so like I love Toby Hooper's. Like I grew up on that. That's just I don't know, like it just
Yes,
freaked
it's
me out.
scary. It's a
Yeah.
scary miniseries.
And so like I was open to a new iteration of it because I was like, you know what, this could use like a freshening up. I really could. And then I just remember like yeah, the first half or so of the movie, I remember I texted Christian. I said, you know, this isn't too bad. And he said, cool, I'm going to check it out later this weekend. And then by the end of it, I was like, yeah, you know what? I wasn't a big fan. I really thought it was
Okay.
just at best average. And even then, as I sat on a little bit more, I was like, that was just totally unnecessary. I didn't like it.
It was unnecessary. I was super excited for this. I was like, they could do a great job with a modern day adaptation of this, and it just sucked. And I'm just gonna spoil this twist character that the movie's been out for a while. It's the fact that Susan's mother is like is Barlow's new apprentice.
Oh God.
And it was so hokey and
She's walking around the
so
fucking
cheesy
drive-in with a
with a
shotgun.
shotgun, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, this was stupid, like, it was dumb, and it came off comedically and jokey and silly, and I ugh,
Yeah.
hated the movie. Hate is a
Z
strong word for me, but I hated that movie.
Zach, we're aiming to record that this weekend, my man. We took a break for like we were supposed to do it 2 weekends ago, but that was like the first weekend when all the shit in my personal life hit the fan. So I told Christian, I was like, "Hey, I need to take a beat on this. I can't. I'm not in the right headspace." And he was like, "You're good." So, but aiming to shoot it this weekend. Yeah, I don't know, Justin. You know, it's like I remember. I know you remember this because we used to talk about it on our streams for years. We
Like,
talked about it of like, oh, you know, the
delay,
early word
delay,
of mouth is that
delay.
it's good and like where's
Yeah,
it at and blah blah blah. They made the right decision. Clearly, they did not think this was good, which is why they dumped it on Max because
agreed.
I think that this movie would have gotten slaughtered in theaters.
Oh, it would've got
Yeah,
slaughtered. Yeah.
yeah. It just
And if
wasn't.
you
It wasn't very good.
And if you enjoyed it, that's awesome, but, like, I even love the book is fantastic, like, I'm not one of those I'm not gonna be like, "Go read the book," type of person, but, like, the book is wonderful and scary, and I just was so disappointed in this movie. Another one I was
Yeah.
disappointed in last year, I own this movie, surprisingly enough, because I gotta watch chapter 2 and 3, is The Stranger Child
Ah.
1.
Oh.
I was like, I didn't see it in theaters, but I remember you talked about it.
Yeah,
I
we
remember
talked about it on the stream, and you were like, "I haven't seen it yet," and I remember telling you, like, Justin, it's so
it's
disappointing, man.
it was that one. I wouldn't say I hated that movie. I would say I was just disappointed in that one because I was like huge Strangers fan. Am a huge Strangers fan. Um, and it just was. I think it was just very cliche. It was very cliche.
It
It didn't
it does
go
it
anywhere. It
it
didn't
doesn't
do
sound it
anything.
JJ, it doesn't sound familiar, but I don't know. I really don't know. Look,
Tim
here's the thing,
Dalton said he
Justin.
showed up the light when what?
Here's the thing about it, man. It's like I felt like it was a shitty remake attempt
Of the
of the
original.
first movie.
Yes.
Furthermore, I felt like everything it's alluding to about giving us answers and all that kind of stuff, I don't want that. I've never asked for that. Um, and honestly, the fact that by the time this trilogy is over, they're going to tell us who the strangers are, probably, and that there's a bunch of people involved and there's a reason for it. You are missing the fucking point
Of
of
the
a
stranger.
series called The Strangers.
Yes. No, I 100%. I'm looking forward to them. I wanna see the movies at least, and I gotta say, like, I watched the trailer for chapter 2, which they haven't talked anything else about it, but I watched what trailer we had, and I was like, "Okay, it could be better." I have no high hopes because I didn't really like the
That
first
might help
one.
us. That might help us going into this one, Justin. And I'm a huge Strangers fan, guys. So's Justin.
I love Strangers. 2008 still scares me. Strangers Pray at Night is my favorite of the
Yeah, Justin
movies.
has to go to the filming locations. Justin and I only live 2 hours
Yes.
away from each other, and the filming locations are like in between where both of
It's
us live.
so cool, and I saw, like, your location stuff, and I just thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
At one point
Damian Maffei shared it too. I remember he shared
and
my photo to his
and
story.
Damien Maffei is like one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet at a convention. Like I hung out with him pretty much that whole weekend. Like he kept saying, "Come back to my table. Come back to my table. We'll talk more." And he is just so sweet. And I told him, I was like, "I just want to let you know I have the biggest crush on you." And he was like, "Oh, I'm flattered." No, he's like, "Thank you."
Yeah, Melanie, Pray at Night was filmed about it was Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati. Yeah, it's on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram from last summer, I believe, and the first photo on the slide is me standing in front of the pool, which it wasn't open yet because it was like May, and I jumped the fence so I could stand like at the pool. I was like, I don't give a shit. There's nobody here at this park. Yeah, I visited every filming location. The only thing I did not get, the only scene I did not get was the scene where she is crawling across the road and the truck is on fire before Sackhead gets out of the truck.
Oh, you didn't get that?
Well, Justin, because that was filmed like 2 hours away from where everything else was filmed.
Really? That's a fun fact I didn't know.
And I was like, wow, it had to have been a pickup shot or something, but I was like, I'm not driving 2 hours out of my way. Mind you guys, this was last summer when my car first started crapping out and I knew it was crapping out. So I was like, I'm already feeling weird about driving an hour to go to these places and then an hour back. I can't make this and I worked that day. So I left straight from work to go to those locations. So
awesome.
I was like, one scene, I got to drive 2 hours further just for one. It's not worth it. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah, but that's still, you got to visit a lot of the locations. I mean, when I watch the movie, there's certain shots I'm like, yeah, that's Cincinnati. Like that's like just it's so
Justin, I was in the theater with my best friend Dave. When we went to see it for the first time, and it does the title card, and then it's like the city, and the camera pans down.
And I was like,
I looked at Dave and I said, "Dude, that's Cincinnati." I was like, "That's great." I was like, "That's Great American Ballpark right there." Like that's
yeah. Like I was the same.
And then
way.
I Googled it in the theater. Like right after the title card. I was like, "Was this film?" And it was like, "Yeah, it was Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area." I was like, "I fucking knew it. I would recognize that." Yeah.
Yeah, I was the same way. We were sitting in the theater, and I'm like, I recognize that. Like that's so cool when you can recognize something that you know.
And the crazy, one of the coolest things too, Justin, was that was the first place I stopped at because everything else was filmed in like further into Northern Kentucky. So like you cross the bridge to get into Kentucky, and I went up these winding roads to the house that's on the hillside right there where they did the shot, where you can see the city of Cincinnati. And I went and knocked on the guy's door just to be nice. And I was like, because I'm going to be standing out here taking pictures and videos. He comes to the door and he's like, "Oh, you're good, man." He's like, "I know." I was like, "You're aware?" He's like, "Oh yeah, people come here all the time." I was like, "Cool. Well, I just wanted to let you know I'd be out here with my camera, so like, don't be like, what the fuck's this guy doing?" But yeah, dude, and also I found out, Justin, Haunt was filmed in Cincinnati.
Really? Oh, look at that.
So I want to find out where those locations were and try to make a pilgrimage out there sometime because I think that'd be really cool. But yeah.
That's so awesome. I want to look at some of these comments real quick. So I will say Rennie Harlan, genius. Like I love Rennie Harlan.
Yeah, that's what we thought too, JG. That's what we thought too. I promise you, if you liked the first movie, this is basically a bastardization of the first movie. Like it's just it's a cheap knockoff.
Rennie Harlan. It is. It really is. But Rennie Harlan, like Dream Master, is like one of my all-time favorite nightmare movies.
Die Hard 2. Die Hard 2 is great.
Die Hard 2 rocks. And everybody sorry, that was probably loud on my microphone. But Die Hard 2 rocks. Like everybody wants to hate on Die Hard 2. And I'm like, no. It's the second best after the first one.
Yeah.
And sometimes even more entertaining.
Justin, Apollo wants to know. I'm going to let you talk about this first. Okay. He was talking about how Pizowl did a show talking about the rumors that Jamie Lee Curtis wants to come back to Halloween. What are your thoughts on that?
No. And here's why. Because as much as I love her and I love Laurie Strode, I'm like you wrapped up your character. You said Halloween Ends is your final Halloween movie. I'm not coming back to this franchise. And I'm like, Jamie, come on. Like, no, like you wrap this. Just go on. You don't need to. Like, and this is coming from somebody who loves Jamie Lee Curtis and loves the character Laurie Strode, but you don't know. Unless she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back and go, she's gonna be like, "Oh, those other movies were cash grab movies. This is the superior Halloween movie."
Okay, I'll say this, Justin. No, I'm done with Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie
Me
Strode
too.
as well, and that's not disparaging her in any way. I just think
No.
Halloween Ends was a really good end to her character. I
Yeah.
thought it was a
You
fitting
wrapped it up
end.
nicely.
Yeah, we just that storyline is done. We also have an alternate universe where her storyline was done. Like it's done. We don't need to revisit it.
Done.
However,
I'm okay.
if they are going to do it, and obviously we have no
How
say
would
in
you do
this,
it?
the only way you make this work is if you bring her back as like a Dr. Loomis type, where she's not the main character and she is essentially Dr. Loomis. Like she's the high, she's almost like she comes in. And even then, that just sounds so corny to me because it doesn't
sounds
fit Laurie
corny.
Strode.
It doesn't fit Laurie Strode.
No, so I don't even know why they're talking. Why are they talking about this?
Why
Why
is
are
she
they?
talking about
That's
it?
what I'm
Because I'm just
saying.
like, Jamie, why are you talking about this? Because you said that you were done with this franchise. She
You know
even
what's
like
funny though,
she had
Justin? I
yeah.
remember right after Ends came out, I remember she gave an interview where she said, "Never say never," but like, yeah, this is the end for my character. But she did say, "Never say never." I remember her saying that, and I was remembering
I
thinking
mean,
at
I
the
heard that.
time,
I remember that too. Yeah.
I just remember thinking like, "No, never, never." Like we
Well,
can
and
say never.
but I also remember before she said never say never, she came out with a video, and she was talking about like, this is emotional for me because this is my final time portraying Laurie Strode, and I want to thank the fans for this. And it was very heartfelt, and I was emotional about it. But I'm like, I'm Jamie, you were perfection. I love you, but we don't need any more of Laurie Strode. We
We
just
don't.
don't. We don't need. I want Halloween to go back to an original story, and go back to that take of what Carpenter did with his Halloween movie, which was a movie about a character, Michael Myers, stalking and slashing 3 babysitters. Go back to an original story now.
Couldn't agree more, Justin. And I hope and pray that's what they do because we just don't need it. And if
That
anything, I think it just tarnishes the send off that you gave her. And whether you love or hate Halloween Ends, guys, that's not really the point.
It's grown on me. That one's grown
The
on me a lot.
I love Ends, but the point
Yeah,
is, it was a really good send off for the character of
for
Laurie
her.
Strode,
Yes,
and
100%.
we don't need to relitigate that. Like it's over and done
No,
with. Like let's let it be done. Let's move on. Like
she's at peace at the end of that movie.
yeah, I don't know.
She's
Justin,
at peace.
we've gone over an hour and a half.
Yeah,
It's been nice to be back.
it has.
Guys, I want to let you know, as long as Justin said earlier, he's good.
I'm
We'll be
good.
back next Wednesday. We'll be
I'd love
back next
to.
Wednesday, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock's great. Yep, 7 o'clock's great. My work schedule next week. I get off at 5 next week. So yeah, that's great. So we'll do 7 o'clock. That's perfect for me.
Fantastic. Guys, I want to remind all of you to leave a like on this video. It helps in the
Please do.
algorithm. And it shows that you appreciated that we were back. And we appreciate
Yep.
being back. And we appreciate you guys coming on here to talk to us. It was nice to see a lot of faces we haven't seen in a while. And I just want to say,
Yeah.
it really does mean the world to me that you guys were so generous tonight. I do not want you to think that that goes underappreciated. It absolutely does not. Just Justin and I, we love that you guys want to talk to us, let alone that you want to
And
that
you're
you want to
back
do.
talking with us. You're
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
So I
It
and
just
I interrupted
it
you,
means
but
a
like,
lot, guys. I just
yeah.
wanted to thank you.
And I want to give a shout out to Christina Marie, who I've been talking to her today, and she couldn't make it on the live stream today, but she's gonna re-watch this. Shout
Mhm.
out to you, Christina, because I've been talking with you, and you're excited that we're back. So when you watch this, Christina, we love you, and we love all of you all. And
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
for coming back. Like this is amazing. We've seen, I mean, Nick, like literally, like this is like everybody that we've seen in the past, and it's like, and new faces too, but like a lot of faces that we remember from How
Yeah,
supportive you all are.
it's
You're
just a
supportive.
blast. It's a blast from the past, and it's crazy to see that you guys you're still around, and you were waiting for us, and we're back, and we're gonna be back in your homes, on your phones every week
Wherever
now.
you are. Love you, Nathan. Love you all.
And yeah, love all you guys, man. Zach, Nathan, Quentin, T. Parker, JJ, Apollo, Ali, Ethan,
Christina,
Sean,
everybody.
Mark, Christina.
Ethan.
Like you guys, there's so many of you. There's so many of you. You guys mean the world to us, and it was just, it's great to be back. It is great to be back, and I'm looking forward to being back next week. And then T. Parker, I just want to say, my next video on my channel later
Melanie.
this week may be a video. Oh, Melanie. Oh my God. Melanie. Yes. Melanie. Guys, go ahead and check out Melanie's channel. She is a brand new horror YouTuber. What is it? Screen Queen Reviews.
Let me look this up.
So check out her channel, subscribe to her. She's trying to get into the YouTube game, and you know how we are. We support each other because we all got to start from somewhere. So
Screen Queen Reviews?
Screen Queen Reviews.
Oh, I love that. Screen Queen Reviews. Let me look this up before I go.
Did you find it?
Let's see. No, you have to send me a link. Send me a link.
Send you. Check out her channel, guys. Subscribe to her. Again, we love y'all. We thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next Wednesday. So until then,
Bye, everybody.
I don't know what to say.
See you all.